Honestly, I'm excited to get back to work, but of course, it takes time. You can't just rush into it. But I'm really excited to see how much this team is going to grow. And like D'Amico said, man, we got to find some way to get back to that moment and win that game, So a lot of experience was made this year and things like that. So I'm super, super excited for the future and everything like that.
That's our guy. That's the man. That's our quarterback. That the voice of Houston Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud at the Texans exit interviews in the locker room earlier this week. Hello and welcome aboard the Paul Gallant Show on this Wednesday, January 24th. We have a jam-packed show ahead of you. Continuing our Astros countdown, Cougs watch, some Cowboys talk. Chandler Rome's going to join us at 11. Billy Wagner not getting into the Hall of Fame. Soft Boys. Some ESPN 97.5 on ESPN 97.5 violence. But I want to start by talking about the quarterback of the Houston Texans. I'm a generous lover with the things in my life. I give out love freely, quickly. And when I give that love out, I mean it is firm, hard, throbbing love. Because I'm running out of options. I'm running out of time. I want to get to the finish line as quickly as I possibly can. So, I meet somebody that I really like. I might be asking for a relationship after a couple of months or something like that. And maybe that's where I was with C.J. Stroud and saying C.J. Stroud was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, saying C.J. Stroud was definitively better than Lamar Jackson going into Saturday's game against the Ravens. So now here I am on Wednesday, and we all need a little post-season clarity in our lives. And I got a little bit of that when it comes to C.J. Stroud. Not to mention perhaps premature QB evaluation. They do have wipes for that these days. I know now that I probably have to dial it back a little bit on C.J. Stroud thanks to seeing others double down on their takes about their quarterback. This is Sean O'Hara on the NFL Network who insists that Josh Allen is a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes.
Back at that as we get started here for this first quarter conversation.
I love this.
Put Josh.
You better put Josh up there. I would put him in front of Lamar the way he's playing.
Okay,
right now.
wow. That's fair.
All right, we going Mahomes?
Yeah, let's go Mahomes. Yeah, that's good. That's pretty easy. Right. That was easy.
Okay. So Sean O'Hara likes Josh Allen better than Lamar, likes him better than Patrick Mahomes, at least based off of what I saw. And here's the thing. There's a certain moment in time where you have to admit that no, that's not the case. You might be dug in the trenches with your piping hot sports take that you might have for whatever reason. I think Bomani Jones is saying a lot of people still think Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL because we, the whites, are afraid that this quarterback position is now largely, the good ones are largely black. But when you end up perhaps being wrong, you got to admit you're wrong. And, after hearing Sean O'Hara say that about Josh Allen, I now have to reevaluate this moment on yesterday's Paul Gallant show where I doubled down on C.J. Stroud being better than Lamar Jackson. I know, DJ, that, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens won the game.
Convincingly.
Lamar Jackson threw for 2 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson ran for 2 touchdowns. And C.J. Stroud had no touchdowns. But I got to say, talk about who's the better passer. Who had more passing yards in that game?
Oh, brother.
Just asking the question. I can only go off of facts, DJ. I can only go off of facts. 175 to 152. And think about this, DJ. Did you know that Lamar Jackson got sacked 3 times losing 29 yards on those 3 sacks. So technically, Lamar Jackson threw for 123 yards, while C.J. Stroud threw 475.
Wow, you're in a hole. You're in a hole, man. You're scraping at the bottom.
Baby.
You're scraping at the bottom.
We're thinking all the way to China. But it's Wednesday, and I have post-season clarity now. I think we all do. Lots of fun this year with C.J. Stroud. Lots of fun this year with DeMeco Ryans. Now we got to take a step back and really evaluate where he is among quarterbacks in the NFL. And we can only operate in the now. I know all of us want to think about all the magical things that C.J. Stroud can theoretically do down the road. But right now, where would you rank Stroud? And I'm going to add another quarterback ahead of C.J. Stroud, who I still believe is top 5. Number 1 for me, Patrick Mahomes. That's not debatable.
Brave take.
Thank you. Number 2, Sean Mapes behind the glass. Still Joe Burrow. Still Joe. Number 3, Josh Allen. Allen played awesome in that game against the Chiefs. He is not the reason that they lost. Number 4, like Sean O'Hara, I have Lamar Jackson behind Josh Allen. Paul, you're racist. I don't see color. Never have. Never will. Like Sean Mapes, I am colorblind, but Sean is really colorblind. I'm colorblind in the woke way.
Yeah, in the way that Gerard Mayo disagrees with.
Correct. My new Patriots head coach. And 5th, I have C.J. Stroud. Right now. And that's a pretty good place to be coming out of a rookie season.
No Brock Purdy?
No Brock Purdy. I wonder if Brock Purdy got any MVP votes.
He definitely got some. Ugh. Lamar's not going to win it unanimous.
Ugh. If Brock Purdy gets MVP votes and C.J. Stroud doesn't, I'm going to be a little annoyed. I don't know how anyone in good conscience could give Brock Purdy the MVP, and I get it. He manages the game well. He is a good quarterback, but come on, people. With all the weapons he has around him, with the defense he's supposed to have on the other side of the field. Stroud's going to have a golden chance next year, though, to rise up from 5th for me, to rise higher to people living here, but more specifically, people nationally. He's going to get a lot of spotlight. So this past season, you can kind of understand why the Texans got as little primetime love as they did. Bad team the year before. But also, they only played over the course of the year great quarterbacks 3 times. 2 games against Lamar Jackson, game 1, and the last game of the year. And Joe Burrow, good quarterbacks that they went up against. Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, Baker Mayfield. Next year, totally different story. He's going to be going up against Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes all in the same year. And you could argue that if Aaron Rodgers is the Aaron Rodgers we last saw with Green Bay, that Rodgers is in this conversation as well because the Texans will play the New York Jets again. And then in the good conversation, Jared Goff, Trevor Lawrence, Tua Tagovailoa, Dak Prescott, possibly Kirk Cousins if he's still with the Vikings, Jordan Love as well. I'd say asterisks next to those last 2. And then on top of that, you have the added fun of whatever Anthony Richardson is, his second season, Will Levis is his second season, and whoever the hell the Bears quarterback is. Theoretically, it could be Caleb Williams. So over the course of this coming year, C.J. Stroud has the chance to get lots of flowers and to elevate his place ranked among NFL quarterbacks. But I have postseason clarity, and I want to apologize for my premature evaluation of quarterbacking. I'm sorry. By the way, don't say sorry.
Yeah, it's not your fault, Paul.
Don't say sorry. It's not your fault. Just move on and pretend like it never happened. And that's what we're going to do. But if you want to react to that, Paul Gallant Show, ESPN, 97.5 and 92.5. 713-780-3776 is how you call or text in to the most interactive sports talk show in Houston. A texter points out from the 409, Gerard Johnson is interviewing for offensive coordinator positions. When he gets one of them, we'll discuss it because there's also the added element of what the hell is going on with Bobby Slowick. Bobby Slowick had a couple of second interviews on the docket. One of those second interviews for Bobby Slowick was with the Commanders last night. He is scheduled to meet with the Falcons again in person. Falcons are being sluttier than the Titans right now. They've interviewed 14 coaches. Tennessee only interviewed 10, and they already got their guy, Brian Callahan.
And Atlanta, I know Slowick's been in there twice. I know Belichick's been in there twice. Harbaugh's been in there twice. So they're
opening the door.
Yeah.
All the doors.
Not the shame. I know it's 2024. But come on.
Listen.
You only got to pick one of them.
Right. I mean, everyone's allowed to be kinky in 2024. But 14 in 1 week. I mean, that's professional numbers, if you will.
Do you think there's got to be some where Arthur Blank is just like checked out, 100% checked out?
Oh my God, no doubt.
Where the meeting ends and he's like, I forgot what was that guy's name?
The Belichick ones. I'm sure they went out in his yacht and just got plastered.
How old? Arthur Blank has to be like in his 70s, right?
Definitely. So I'm totally with you. Arthur Blank is I think with specific coaches, probably trying to have a good time. And Belichick's definitely the one that's looking to have the best time he possibly can. He wants to be wined and dined.
Not even a Rooney Rule thing. I think he's doing it to the white coaches, too. He's 81 years old. So there's no way he's paying it in these like 2.5 hour long meetings with like interviews with coaches. Like, there's no way that he's like locked in and, nodding along to everything that Bobby Slowick has to say the second time that they talk to him.
His eyes have got to glaze over after a certain point. Man, 14 interviews. That's a lot.
Have you talked with an 80-year-old? Like, it's a hard thing to do for 2 hours.
It's been a really long time since I've spoken with an 80-year-old, but
wow.
You're right. You hear a lot of the same things over and over again. Now imagine you're doing a job interview 14 times. How many times are you going to say the same thing over and over again in those interviews? And then in those interviews, how many times are you going to say the same thing over and over and over again? My God. Arthur Blank's been a rerun of like Matlock or some other 1960s television show that he watched. The Rifleman.